think one of some of the difficult issues which actually going to face the negotiator is the power sharing, the wealth sharing, and the issue of compensation, and also security arrangement, specifically the return of the IDPs and refugees, and how to secure their villages and avoid the same kind of atrocities happening again. But I think if there is a good face, people will be able to reach a consensus to that, especially the wealth sharing and the power sharing. And also the issue of compensation. I think the government of Sudan must actually increase the amount of compensation, and also the international community must contribute, because it's better to spend money on settling people down in the villages than to spend the money on the humanitarian relief, because this humanitarian relief will not end. It is a cycle and it's not going to stop. But if we manage to allow them to go back to their villages and settle and start fresh their life, then this problem will end within 1 year or two, and then everyone will be happy and safe. And that is the most important issue. And also some issues like the power sharing, I think all the arrangements are interims, because at the end we will have election in 2 years, and then the Sudanese people will have to agree on a constitution which actually respect all the region, not only Darfur, because there is a lot of grievances in other regions, and that is also must be taken into account. This is why we don't have to take a long time to discuss, especially the power sharing, because it is an interim arrangement and will end when we come to the election. But we must have the will. All the Sudanese political forces must have the will to try and find a consensus on how to govern Sudan, this vast, large country. They must have a consensus on how to fairly govern it and give every part of it a fair share. Yeah, I think the problem is more severe in West Darfur specifically. Because in West Darfur, most of the refugees in Chad are actually fleeing West Darfur, and most of them from Masalid, because specifically West Darfur is mostly occupied by Masalid and some Arabs. The government actually deliberately forcing these people to flee and helping the Arabs. And also the government not only doing that, also helping them by establishing services, hospitals and school to help the Arab to settle. And this is one of the main problems. That's why some of the armed groups, specifically from Masalit, they are taking a very hard line, and they believe that the only way to get the land back is to fight these Arabs and force them to move. This is why this is one of the problems, which is not actually didn't find more space in the media. And I think people must address it, and they must find a solution for it, because otherwise it's going to be a really complicated, and it's just a force. The government is forcing these people to flee and replace them by Arab for its own political reasons. I think they want to change the democratic map for election, or I don't know, for something else. They know, but this is exactly what's happening in West Darfur, and need to change.